Good afternoon, everybody. If you watch this video over the next few hours, it's now approaching 10 to 2 on Sunday the 7th of July. I believe it's the 7th. Yeah, 7th of July 2024, and it's just started hammering down with rain outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Bit of a miserable day today here in London. Started up okay, as it tends to do. You wake up in the morning, you know, in my case, whatever time that is, I could be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's light, you know. And by 11 o'clock, the clouds come over, sometimes sooner, sometimes earlier than that, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. The clouds come over, much the same as they have today, and then this has been much of what it's been like the last few days, ladies and gents. But anyway, there we go. Those of you that live within the United Kingdom, I've got a few questions for you. I'll come to those in a minute. But yeah, having gotten over the, well, it wasn't really a shock, was it, ladies and gents? It wasn't a shock. We all knew what was going to happen. Labour were going to win. You know, anybody that keeps up to date with politics, you know, we all knew probably 6 months down the road. The snap election was a bit of a surprise, and yeah, 6 weeks. But I voted Reform UK, and I think it was a little bit lower than I expected. You know, I thought maybe around about 8 seats, but it was a little bit lower because I did expect more people to vote for the UK. Sorry, I keep saying that. I did expect more people to vote for Reform UK than actually did. I believe it was around about 4 million. That's the figure that I'm hearing. So you spread that across the 5 seats. That's 8 million. Sorry, zero there. My figures have gone. My figures are gone. I'll forget that. 800,000, yeah, 800,000 per seat. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you know, getting old. 800,000 per seat. So it's also come to light, you know, and I'm sure Nigel Farage is going to be banging on about it. Referendum, just bang on about a referendum. Much the same as Brexit. And anybody that voted for Brexit, I'm sure will vote for a referendum for proportional representation, because I believe the SDP got less votes and ended up with 61 seats, and Reform UK take 4 million votes and end up with 5. So how do you work that out? Even if they got 6 million votes, I'm not so sure now what the exact figure is, but I know it was, you know, it's outrageous. 61 seats with the amount of the percentage of the vote they received is outrageous. And the same with the Labour Party. I think probably 10 million, just over 10 million voted for Labour. Just over 10 million voted for Labour, and around 6.5 million voted for the Conservative Party. So 4 million voted for Reform UK, and Reform UK get 5 seats. The Tories get what, 150 quid, 151 was it? 121. But it's outrageous. It's a stitch up, and this is why it's always been a two-party system, because it's geared that way because of the voting system. You know, it's first past the post, and it's outrageous, and there needs to be maybe someone organising a march about that, just in itself, just on its own. You know, we need proportional representation. Reform UK, I believe, came second in 93 seats, second place in 93 seats. and some just by a couple of thousand votes. So they're winnable next time around. So I'm not down, I'm not despondent. I know people that I watch, subscribers that I subscribe to, YouTubers that I subscribe to that talk about this nonsense and all sorts of other stuff, and you know, they were a little bit down, but I'm not down at all. I'm not despondent. I think Nigel's going to do a great job, and it starts now. The hard work starts here, starts now. We need to build a movement that's going to move alongside Reform UK, and that movement will vote for Reform UK at the next general election. I'm sure of it. You know, there's 30 million people out there without a voice. There's over 30 million people that didn't vote, that didn't bother voting. In fact, I think it's probably higher than that. 10 million, 6.5. Yeah, 25 million, if that. You know, population of this country is what, 68, 69 million? You know, there's not even 40% of the country even bothered voting, you know, the way I'm working the figures out in my head. Anyway, that said, the biggest shock comes to me when I well, within 12 hours of winning the general election and going to see the King and then naming his cabinet, the people he's named in his cabinet, have you seen it? My good God, mate, my good God. There's a couple of videos out there, I'm not going to go through them all. I'll mention a couple. David Lammy. David Lammy's our new Foreign Secretary. This is somebody that's made a video in commemoration of those that lost their lives during the First World War, and it was 100 years since the end of the First World War, so it's probably back in 2019, somewhere around there, 2018, and he made a video saying that today is the day that we remember those that lost their lives at the end of the war, at the 11th minute, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th year. Which means that he thinks that we have 2 minutes silence on the 11th of November at 11 minutes past 11. He's as thick as a brick, mate, I'm telling you. As thick as a brick, God help us. And also he went on Celebrity Mastermind, and he was asked the question, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2008? 1908, yeah, sorry. Who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1908? And he answered Marie Antoinette. He's somebody that thought King Henry VII came after King Henry VIII. I also see him on YouTube video. I think it was LBC he was on. Excuse me. And he was asked a question. Did he believe a man could be a woman? And he thought about it for about 3 seconds, 4 seconds. He said, well, yes. He said, well, yes, I believe a man can grow a cervix. What? If he tucks it all the way up his rear end, yeah? Oh dear, oh dear. And you lady, I can't recall her name now, for now, but she has been, sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. She has been photographed on these Palestinian marches in central London. And also, she's been, I can't think of her name, but she's been put in charge of that, of our judiciary system. She's a lawyer. So, I believe that makes her a judge or whatever, I don't know, not so, but all I know is she's been put in charge of our judiciary and laws. Judiciary and laws in this country. So, we can expect more clampdown on freedom of speech and more censoring of social media, maybe more people getting cancelled, and also Ed Miliband is back in charge of energy and health. Ed Miliband in charge of energy and health. All these three are in the cabinet, and looking through the history of that cabinet, it doesn't just consist of around 8 people. There's quite a few people within the cabinet. It's probably around about 16, maybe a few more, maybe as many as 20, but I would say at least 16. And looking at their work records and their work history, they're either career politicians, or they've come from nowhere, mere members of the Labour Party, just worked their way up, 2 of which have had no work experience whatsoever of anything. And the Secretary for Finance deals with the Bank of England and things like that. Well, if you dig it out for yourself, do a little bit of research. I suggest you do a little bit of research and see the jobs that these people have been put into. And you tell me any one of them that actually has any record, or you would even consider to put, you might as well put me into a position of finance minister. You may as well, for what I know about it. Because these people, I probably know more than this lot. I know banks and central banks, and the fiat money is a lot of our problems. I know that. I know the banks can loan out 7 times, I believe it is, of what they've actually got in the bank, and they loan out people money without your signature creates the money. It's your signature that creates that money. Without your signature, they haven't got that money. You're just basically signing for your own money, which you pay interest on, and which you can never, there's only a certain amount of money within the economy. So there's never ever enough money within the economy to pay the interest. So people are going to default on the interest because there's purely simply not enough money within the economy to pay it. So anyway, that's me. Have a good laugh. And yeah, a couple of questions I've got for you. I'm not being funny, I'm being quite serious. Please, would anybody out there leave in the comments and try to explain to me why you would vote Labour. Why you would vote Labour. Because what you have voted for is basically to put your children to the back of the queue, because they happen to be white British. So they're going to be second in line or last in line anyway, if they're not already. The Tories never actually got a grip of immigration or illegal migration or whatever you want to call it. But they did make it look as if they were trying to do something. Whereas this lot that's just been elected, the Labour Party, all they're going to do is now, it's now open borders. It's now open borders, help yourselves boys, Won't say girls because there's not many coming over, is there, I don't think. They all seem to be young, fit, fighting males. So I would suggest at least 4 million within the next 5 years if the Labour Party run the full 5 years, and I don't think they will. I think they're quickly going to get into trouble, because I don't think they've got the capability to run a country. They've got nothing to work with. Taxes will go up higher and higher and higher. They'll keep coming for everybody that's still in full-time employment. They'll pay more taxes on everything, cost of living, fuel, electricity bills, gas bills, higher and higher and higher. God help us. I just want to know why anybody would vote Labour. Please, please, please explain your decision to me. You know, we didn't have a right government. We had probably leaning towards the left government. Now we've got a far left government. But maybe we need 4 or 5 years of this to wake you lot up. Because it will get worse. It already has got worse. We've now got a cabinet that hasn't got a fucking clue what it's doing. And a Prime Minister there's a communist. I don't mind saying it, he's a communist, he's a Marxist. He's the only one that does their research. You can find this stuff out. You've got to do your own research, not sit and watching. Maybe that's why people voted Labour. Maybe they're just ignorant. And they've always voted Labour because Mummy and Daddy and Granddad and Granny voted Labour. So I've always voted Labour and I always will. So therefore, you just voted Labour and don't know why you like voting Labour. So, in the comments, please tell someone, because I'm confused, tell me why you voted Labour. Thank you, and see you all soon. Goodbye.